Greetings, math fans. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to actually talk about graphing some of these lines, and we're going to talk about, this is key here, so it's called slope intercept form. Okay, so actually there are two parts to this. There's the slope, which we already learned yesterday, right? The slope is rise over run, so that's we're going to call that the letter M. Okay, and sometimes people ask, well, why is slope M? It's kind of silly. Well, actually, M stands for montaña, which is the mountain, the slope of a mountain. So that's why they use M. And this guy right here, the word intercept, they actually refer to the Y-intercept. Okay? So what does the Y-intercept mean? It means where it crosses the Y-axis. Okay, it's pretty simple. And the letter they use for that is B. I'm not really sure why, but I guess the Y-intercept is a beautiful thing, so that's what the B stands for. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, that's what they use. They use M and B. So the slope-intercept form is Y equals MX plus B. Okay, the Y is going to be always a Y, and the X is always going to be an X. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to put a value in for that and for that. So these are the ones that are going to be, you're going to find a value. Okay, so the first kind of problem we're going to do is, this is actually the easiest kind of problem, and you'll even see this on the quiz or even on the test, is where I actually give you, I tell you the y-intercept is a number and the slope is a number, and you, or I give you the equation, you tell me what that is. So here, let me just show you what I mean. So if I give you y is equal to 2x plus 3, and I'm literally going to have two blanks. I'm going to say, hey, what is the slope? And I'm going to say, what is the y-intercept? Okay? That is the easiest possible question I could give you, all right? Because literally, the number before the x, that's your m. So I'm going to write this out here again. Y equals mx plus b. That 2 is that m, okay, which is your slope. So you're going to write the slope is 2. I mean, it's that easy. Okay, and then of course they say, what is the y-intercept? And the only weird thing about this is, well, here, first of all, it's 3, okay, and that's your b, and that's your y-intercept. You guys remember when we did x and y intercepts, and I told you guys you had to put down a coordinate, and that's the thing I'm going to ask you guys for. All right, I'm going to say, what is the y-intercept? And you're going to say, oh, it's 3, but it's 0, 3. Because don't you guys remember? 0, 3 is 1, 2, 3 is right here. Okay, it's where it crosses the y-axis. So that is the y-intercept, 0, 3. Okay, that is the easiest type of problem I could possibly give you. Okay, the easiest type. And I mean, nobody should get that wrong at all. All right. Okay, so let's try another kind of problem here. Okay, so y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 4. Okay, again, my slope is negative 2/3, and my y-intercept is equal to 0, 4. So let's actually plot that, because that's what you're going to have to do for your homework. Is you're going to be given an equation that's going to ask you for your slope, it's going to ask you for your y-intercept, and then it's going to ask you to graph it. All right, and it's really not that bad to do that, but just have to kind of know what you're doing. So let's make a quick graph here. Okay, guys, I know it's kind of a silly thing for me to say, all right, but when I say the y-intercept, you have to remember that's the y-axis. So it's where it crosses this line right here. Okay, got to remember that. It's where it crosses that line. All right, so let's graph this guy. So 0, 4. Now, these are the steps to plot. Steps to graph. The first thing you do is you have to solve for y. Now sometimes you just have an x in there, and then that's going to be a little bit different, okay? But most of the time you're going to solve for y, and that means y equals mx plus b. The second step is you want to plot the y-intercept. Okay? The third step is from, this is huge, from the y-intercept, count the rise over run, which is the slope, to plot a second point. Okay? So from the y-intercept, count the rise over run, which is the slope, to plot a second point. And your fourth step is connect points to create a line. Okay? All right, so that's our ultimate goal here. All right, so back to this problem. We have our slope, we have our y-intercept. Remember, the first thing you do is we're going to plot the y-intercept. So it's 0, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we plot a point there. From that point, and please don't go from 0, 0. A lot of people do that. From that point, you're going to go down 2, right? It's rise over run. So that means you're going to go down 2 and to the right 3. Okay, the negative always belongs to the top number. So basically with the negative, you're always going to go up and down, or up or down. And the bottom number, you're pretty much going to go to the right because that's going to be always positive. Okay? All right, so it's down 2 and over 3. So down 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. And here's your point. And then we graph it. Okay? That's it. That's graphing a line in slope-intercept form. All right, I got a bunch of examples I want to do with you guys, so let's keep going here. Y equals negative 3x plus 2. Okay, so your slope, m is equal to negative 3. Your the value of b is 2, but if I ask you for the y-intercept, it's 0, 2. Okay, and now let's plot it. So that's like most of the work right there, math fans. 0, 2 is right here. Now you're like, oh, my slope is negative 3. I don't have a rise over run. Well, sure you do. Just do negative 3 over 1. So it's down 3 and to the right 1. So from the y-intercept, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. And math fans, it's important to understand, and I stressed this when I first taught this, isn't that a negative slope? Okay, if you draw a line, so I'm going to actually draw this line now. But if you draw that line and it would be aiming the other way, that would be a positive slope, and it's wrong. You have to realize that this is a negative slope, so it's got to be going downhill when you're going left to right. Okay? And that's what your graph is. So you notice things I'm going to give you, or I'm going to give you the equation, and you're going to come up with m, you're going to come up with b, and you're going to actually come up with the y-intercept, which is a coordinate. It's like two different things. Really the slope and the y-intercept. These are really the same. This one's just writing it as a coordinate. This one's writing it as the value of b. Okay? Okay, let's try another one here. How about y is equal to 2/3 x? And you're like, oh man, has no number here. Well, what does that really mean, math fans? Doesn't it mean just plus 0? Okay? So don't panic if there's no number after that. As long as you have a y and an x, you know your slope is 2/3. The value of b is 0, so that means your y-intercept is 0, 0. All right? So let's plot it. The first thing you do is you plot your y-intercept, 0, 0. And then it's up 2 and over 3. Up 2 over 3. And there's your graph. Okay? That's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so let's get to where you have to solve it a little bit. How about 2x plus 3y equals 6? All right? You have to solve for y. And we've worked at this many times. You always you move this over first. Okay, whether it's adding or subtracting, and we're going to subtract 2x in this case. So 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. And then divide both sides by 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. Now, this is important, math fans. It needs to be written as y equals mx plus b. Okay, so that needs to come first, and that needs to come second. If you did write it this way, y equals 2 minus 2/3 x, okay, if you write it this way, then I would take off 1 point because it's not in slope-intercept form. Okay, so don't write it that way. All right, so this is what I want, right? Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. Okay, so let's plot this. I'm kind of running out of room here, but that's okay. I go up 2, right? Oh, sorry, my slope is negative 2/3. The value of b is 2, and my y-intercept is equal to 0, 2. So we plot 0, 2 here, and then it's down 2 and over 3. Down 2 and over 3. And it's a negative slope, and sure enough, when you graph it, it is a negative slope. Not a very straight line, but that's okay. All right, that's not too bad. Let's try another one here. Negative 4x plus 2y is equal to 16. All right, so I'm going to add 4x to both sides. I get 2y is equal to 4x plus 16 divided by 2. So y equals 2x plus 8. Okay, so my slope is 2. My y, or let's do our value of b is equal to 8. So that means my y-intercept equals 0, 8. Now, this is actually a really good point here. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say my graph only went up to that amount. So here I plotted that point. And do you guys agree my slope is 2, so it's like I'm going up 2 over 1? Well, what happens if you can't go up 2? Let's say there's no more room. Well, remember, isn't that the same thing as going down 2 and to the left 1? Because it's like saying negative 2 over negative 1, which is the same thing as positive 2. Okay, so I can actually go down 2 and to the left 1. And then I sketch my line. So I push my point, and I sketch the line. And again, I know that I got it right because my slope was positive, and there's a positive slope. All right? Does that make sense, everybody? I hope it makes sense. It's really not that difficult, but you have to know how to solve for y. If you don't know how to solve for y, you can't be successful in this unit. All right? So you always have to know how to solve for y. So how about if we give you a really weird one? How about 6x plus 6x plus 4 equals negative 2y. Okay, well, again, you should know how to solve it. I would flip it around. I would write negative 2y equals 6x plus 4. And then divide everything by negative 2. So y equals negative 3x minus 2. Okay, and then we need our slope is negative 3. The value of b is negative 2, and the y-intercept is 0, negative 2. So I graph this, and I have negative 2 here, and then my slope is negative 3. So again, I could go down 3 and over 1. Do you guys agree with that? Or I could go, how about up 3 and to the left 1? That's the same thing, because it's positive 3 over negative 1, which is, again, negative 3. So up 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And you notice it's on the same line. Okay? So that is that's slope-intercept form. All right, the other thing that I need to show you guys is a special case. Okay, and these are our old problems, and if you guys remember, these are our BAM problems. So this is an x equals and a y equals problem. So x equals 2, y equals 3. Now this is the deal, math fans. These are different than our last problems because it only has one variable. It only has one variable. It has either an x or a y. Before we had y equals mx plus b, and so when you have two letters like this, you have a y and an x, it has some slant. Okay, so a positive slope or negative slope. These are special cases. All right, so let's deal with each one of these. Let's go with the y equals 2. All right, well, you guys know how to graph this. That should be really easy. Y equals 2, you go to 2, and then you draw a line, a horizontal line. Remember, an upside down y is an h. Okay, so let's actually talk about the three different things here. First of all, what's my slope? Well, you guys should know the slope of that line is 0. Okay, that should be a common thing. And if you don't know that, you can count, rise over run, but you should know a horizontal line is a 0 slope. Let's talk about the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Remember that, crosses y-axis. So really we're looking for the value of b. Well, can you guys tell me what is the value of b? Where is it crossing the y-axis? Isn't it crossing at 2? So b is 2, so it's crossing at 0, 2. I mean, it's obvious, but sometimes people just look at it and they go, oh, gee, I don't know what's going on. They try to guess at it. You need to look at the picture and say, oh, gee, where is it crossing the y-axis? Oh, 2. That means the y-intercept is 0, 2. All right? So that is, those are your three blanks. Your slope is 0, b is 2, y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay? That's pretty easy. And that's a BAM problem. Let's try x equals 2. Well, let's sketch it first. 1, 2. It's a vertical line going through 2. Okay, so let's do a couple things here. First question is, what is my slope? And you guys should know right away, man, this is an undefined slope. Okay, so remember that. For an x equals, it's always an undefined slope. And now we have to get our value of b. Remember what b means. B means, what is the y-intercept? Well, don't you guys agree that this axis right here, in yellow, highlighting, isn't that my x or my y-axis? Okay, isn't that where I'm looking for my y-intercept? So here's the question: where is it crossing that yellow line? Okay, it's not. It's not crossing. So if it's not crossing, what is my y-intercept? Well, there isn't one. So b is equal to none. Okay, it's important just to recognize that. B is equal to none, so then of course if I ask you what the y-intercept is, it's none. Okay, that is really important, math fans. So it has no y-intercept, but the slope is undefined. Okay? I hope that's okay. So if I, here, y equals 7. All right, what's my slope? Well, isn't that a horizontal line? Slope is 0. Okay, where's it crossing the y-axis? Oh, at 7. So my y-intercept is 0, 7. And math fans, if you want to look at it this way, if I said y equals mx plus b, that's like saying, remember you said your slope was 0, so doesn't that just go away? And you have your b left over, which is your 7. So that's why the y-intercept is 7. Okay? And here you go, x equals -3. Oh, if I graph that, of course, you guys know, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's your graph. Okay, and then x equals -3. You guys should know right away what it is. You guys should say to yourself, oh, geez, that's a vertical line. Slope, which is m, is equal to undefined. Not 0, it's undefined. And what's your y-intercept? So let's do b first. B is equal to, well, where's it crossing the y-axis? Again, if you just want to sketch it real quickly, you should only have to do this a few times. Oh, gee, it's not crossing the y-axis, so it's none. and then my y-intercept is none. And guys, please don't put 0. If you tell me b is equal to 0, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a big little X through it because b is not 0. 0 means here, math fans. That's 0. 0 is at the origin. In fact, let me give you an example here. Y equals 0. Okay, what's my slope? Slope is 0 because it's y equals, what's my y-intercept? Well, it's crossing at 0. So it's 0, 0. So if I actually had to graph this, okay, my y-intercept is 0, 0, and the slope is 0. So it actually would look like this, right on the y-axis. Okay. Same thing if I gave you x equals 0. Well, again, I know the slope is undefined. And the y-intercept, now this is a little weird, and I'm not going to ask you this because that would be kind of tricky, because truly what an x equals 0, isn't it like this? And so isn't the y-intercept all real numbers because it's crossing at every place? Okay, but I'm not going to, it's good to know that, but I'm not going to give you something like that. All right? So I think that should be it, math fans. Know how to solve for x, how to solve for y. If it only has an x and a y, it's a special case. But always plot that y-intercept first, then deal with the slope, and you should be good to go. All right, that's it, math fans. Have a great day. Adios. Goodbye.